everyone. It is an honor to be here. I know I'm between you and lunch, so I promise that I'll be super fast, and hopefully the talk that I share with you today would be useful. I was invited to Echelon, and I think probably the most relevant story that I could share with you is probably the story of founding Misfit Wearables. Probably a couple of you have heard about it before. So I'd like to share with you the story, and we pick a side topic which is also a very interesting topic, especially for startup in high tech, is how to attract talents and how to retain them with the company, because they are the single most important resource that we have for high tech company. So first of all, so I grew up in Vietnam. I was born here until high school. I studied in England from A level, which is high school too. I did my first degree in economics and management in Oxford. Went out to work for investment banking for a while. Going back to Oxford, doing my MPhil in economics. Was planning for an academic career, and then I didn't finish my PhD. I graduated from MPhil and went back to Vietnam. I worked for HSBC as an investment banker when I moved back to Vietnam, and I happened to meet my now husband. And then I moved to the US, completely new story. Over to the US, I started my MBA at Sloan. That was the first time ever that I knew about technology, especially startup in technology. But thankfully, Sunny, who is my husband, was a serial entrepreneur, and he was on his second startup already in Boston, New Hampshire area. By the time I graduated in 2011, I started working for McKinsey in Boston, and that was also around the same time he started Misfit Wearables, his third company. My husband is the one in the middle, Sunny, with his longtime friend Shrita and John Scully. Some of you may have heard the story of John Scully. He was the ex-CEO of Apple and Pepsi. He was fantastic co-founder, and to be honest, a great mentor for all of us, not only for Sunny, but for everybody at Misfit. So what did we do? The first product that we introduced was the activity tracker and sleep monitor, like almost all the activity trackers on the market. You know about the Fitbit, Nike Fuel Band, Jawbones. We do exactly the same thing. The only difference is that we think we are more pretty. So the Shine was introduced, first of all, through a crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo. Within 10 hours, we reached our target of $100,000 money raised within 10 hours. At the end of the campaign, within a month, we raised almost 900K, and we sold 10,000 units. At that point, we realized that there is a real need in the market for activity trackers or sports devices that have fashion taste. We won almost all the most significant design awards, and we went on to develop the products not only as an activity tracker like sports device, but actually as a piece of jewelry, as you can see here. We introduced more colors, different ways to make wearables more interesting. We went on to Misfit Flash a year later. This time it is not made out of aluminum, it is made of plastic. We keep the cost down, introduce more fun colors, and what more important is that we introduce what we call the link capability. What does it do? What it does is that, starting off, wearables is wearables. You collect data as you walk around, you go running, you go swimming, shopping. But up to this point in 2014, we foresee that wearables will be way more interesting if it helps you control the world around you, especially when it can connect and speak to different things around you. As we all know about the new trend of Internet of Things. So with this little device, and later on Shine 2 and Ray, we can control the lights on and off. We can control music. We can even control our we can even replace the clicker. We can do selfie button and a bunch of other things. Shine 2 was introduced. After that was the development, further development of Shine. We introduced Ray, a big hit on the market. We realized that people may not only be interested in the round thing on their wrist, but they want something that can go with a watch. As you can see, wear jewelries with it. The thing that helped us a lot is our marketing activities. We worked with Coca-Cola, and we were the only activity tracker for Sochi and World Cup. We went on to work with Victoria's Secret, and they sold out with their exclusive color, the pink color. Within 24 hours, they sold out like 20,000 units. And what more interesting is Swarovski Shine, exactly the thing that I'm wearing right now. So it is still an activity tracker, beautiful crystal, and this time it is truly a piece of jewelry. One further step is that we actually make the solar powered edition out of it. So one difference between the Shine and the rest of the ecosystem is that we don't need to charge. If you use Fitbit, you have to charge every 7 days. And just like the iPad, if you don't use it too much, you forget to charge it. By the time you want to use it, it runs out of battery. With the normal Shine, we run it out of battery, so you only need to replace battery every 6 months. This time, we take a leap further. We actually don't even need a piece of battery anymore. That piece of crystal can bend light, and we use the technology to fund the sensor in here only by solar power. So on top of it is a beautiful piece of jewelry. Underneath it is a beautiful piece of art of technology. We worked with Speedo Shine as the only trackers that can measure laps, and we built in the algorithm for professional swimmers. Not that the normal Shine is not waterproof, the normal Shine is already waterproof, but the Speedo Shine takes it to another level, that we have marketing capacity from Speedo, and at the same time, it has more algorithm to track swimming for professional swimmers. Here it is. So, to look back in our very short history of 4 years, so between 2011, when Sunny started the company, until 2015, we raised more than $60 million US through 3 series of financing. We introduced a bunch of products that, as we shared, and by 2015, at the end of 2015, we were acquired by Fossil Group for $260 million. The story after that was, at that time, we already had a team of around 250 people around the world, 4 offices. San Francisco, 50 people, mainly on hardware engineering, commercial, and design. Beijing for commercial development as well, because the China market was huge for us too. We manufactured our products in Seoul, in South Korea, but they are contract manufacturer. We don't have presence there. Shenzhen, we have 50 software engineers taking care of cloud and a couple of other service for software. And interestingly, Ho Chi Minh City, we have a bit more than half of our team over there, 140 people, focusing on advanced R&D, software engineering, and operations. So it is probably one of the rare stories around town that somebody actually do R&D in Vietnam. People usually make jokes and ask us like, hey, so what do you make in Vietnam? They thought that our manufacturing capacity was in Vietnam. So Sunny joked and said, well, yeah, we manufacture patents out of Vietnam, and we actually outsource to South Korea to make the products. Good news or bad news, but actually it's very hard to make our products in Vietnam. But for us, it's probably easier for us to find talents in Vietnam. And today I would like to share with you a little bit about how we build the team that we're super proud of. So when Fossil acquired us, they are number 2, number 3 largest watchmakers in the world. They own 4 or 5 brands, and now they own Misfit brands. They hold a bunch of licensed brands like Michael Kors, Armani, Burberry and stuff. So if you wear any watch of this, it is actually made by Fossil. The reason why they acquire us is because they believe that traditional watch is no longer traditional watch. It's got to be connected into a smartwatch or some connected devices. And our team is perfect to power these watches from the team of software engineers and hardware engineers that we have. Now, we grow into a bigger team, 619 company-owned stores globally, span 150 countries around the world. So so we would like to share with you our lessons learned about attracting talents and what are the talents that we have in Vietnam. So first of all, like any other high-tech companies, the most important resource that we have is people. And why do we even believe that Vietnam has that kind of people or the talent that we were looking for? By the time we sold the company in 2015, 10% of our workforce in Vietnam has a PhD from overseas, and usually from top schools that you can see, like Johns Hopkins, UIUC, Princeton, and a bunch of other universities around the world, not only in the US, in France, in the UK, Korea, Singapore as well. These people came to us first of all, through personal network. I grew up in Vietnam. I know a bunch of friends who were excellent students at the time. And I strongly believe that if they have opportunities, they can do great work just as the friends that I knew in Silicon Valley. But how can you pull together a team from different walk of life, different experience, and different education? Well, we actually share the same common root that we are Vietnamese, but working in a startup and working on tech, we speak a different language. That is the language of tech. How do we work as a team? So one thing that we soon learned is that actually it is not IQ that we should look for, but a skill set. To be completely honest, IQs are not difficult to find in Vietnam. Especially there are groups of students who have very strong background in education, especially in science and technology. And they are blessed with very high IQs. To put them in the environment that they have to make products, especially to be creative, to make innovative products, they have never done it before. So we are looking for people who can actually develop their skill sets instead of IQ. IQ can bring them further in gaining skill sets, but IQ only cannot be transformed into skill sets for everybody. The second thing that we soon learned is we look for people with wisdom and not just experience. After a while, when we started Misfit, of course, like any other startup, we were put in the position that we had to do a lot of things that we have never done before. And we wish somebody, please, may have done it before so that we can put them in the right seat and please help us. We soon realized that it is probably not experience that will bring us very far, because I'm sure you may have experienced it too. There will be people coming up and tell you, come on, you have to believe me. I have 20 years of experience in this. But many of them actually do have 20 years, but what they do have is they have 1 year of experience 20 times. And it is very different from 20 years of experience. So after a while, we learned that one of the ways for us to attract the right talent is not necessarily experience, but the wisdom. How do people learn from their failure, and what is their attitude with learning? That helped us bringing on people who may not have as much experience, or even do not have any experience in one area, but they have the right attitude to learn. they can grow way faster and can help the company going through tough time in a much more creative way than otherwise. And finally, probably the biggest thing is cultural fit above all. We have faced many times that we had to let go of very good talents in the company because of cultural fit. We let go one really good salesperson very early on in our company. And as you know, for a startup, salesperson is key, especially at the early day of the company. But his cultural fit is not right. It distorts the value that we care to build the team upon. We have to face a huge challenge of letting go of opportunities if we let go of this guy versus having to strive through it and figure out how to get over it on our own without much experience, and then later on look for the right people to join the team. So just want to share with you one piece of wisdom that we found profoundly meaningful is the whole problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves and wiser people so full of doubts. So how can you get the talent that who can actually help the company when they're full of doubts and you're surrounded by noise? Finally, John shared with us this piece of wisdom, and we find it reflects all through the life of our startup. Is one of the benefits of working as a startup is you get to do things that you're not qualified for. Like this kid, that was exactly us over the last 4 years, actually only 3 years. We had to do things that we have never done before. But that helps us grow, and how can we actually do it is all about the team. We don't blame each other for failing. We will do the best that we can even when our friends fail. And in the end of the day, it's how we get out of it and learn and grow with it. The experience as a startup is a wonderful experience that I've never had before at McKinsey or HSBC or anywhere else in the big corporate. So I wish all the startups here fun experience and all the best with your ventures. Thank you.